You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
You know, it's an exciting day for me because Khamzat is in the news. Khamzat will dominate Robert. Definitely finish Adesanya, says Kyle Baralho. Okay, I'm with it. Hey, I like it, man. I like it.
Yes! Yes!
Finally, we get someone that's on Team Khamzat, and you know I'm rocking with that. Got him number one on the dude list for a reason. Also, Robert Whittaker, Chimaev win will show that he's the best in the world. He believes with a win, it proves that I am the best in the world, says Robert Whittaker. So, you know, we got both of those guys going back and forth in the news, obviously. You got Belal Muhammad saying he wants Usman as first title defense. And also, after dropping John Jones' GOAT promo, Dana White really excited about AI doing the UFC rankings. So those are some of the headlines before we get to the UFC Vegas 97 predictions. So everybody hold on. They're coming. And there's some good fights this week too. There's some good fights. Just hold your horses. Now back to the top. We can dig into a little more detail. Khamzat will dominate Robert and finish Adesanya, says Kyle Baralho. I agree 100%. And there's no disagreeing on this one. I believe he can finish both those guys. I mean, I just believe that he can come in there and easily finish both of those guys. But will he do it? That's the question. And how will he do it, right? How will he finish these two? I mean, it's you got to finish Robert Whittaker by submission. And you got to KO Adesanya. And then all the naysayers just...
Oh my God, bro.
Because then what do you say? Then you just got to say all those guys are washed up. Burns is washed up. Usman's washed up. Whittaker's washed up. Adesanya's washed up, right? I mean, when you get that list, I don't care. I mean, two of them got to not be washed up out of the four. But if Khamzat runs a table like that, those are some big names on your resume. I don't care what anyone says, and then he's headed for the title. So that's where we're at. And Kyle Baralho seems to think that that's what's going to happen, saying, I've never seen any other guy in my life that trains as much as he trains. So Baralho is saying that Khamzat Chimaev just trains and trains and trains. See this guy in the gym, I mean, he's just out working people, and maybe that's why he got sick. Maybe, who knows? I mean, you're depleting your body when you're doing all that stuff. You're really going after it. This is why I like the guy, because regardless of all that's happened in the last 3 or 4 years with missing fights and just for whatever reason, getting injuries in fights but still winning, you know, then the guy's training to be the best. This is why I like him, because even though we've had all this time off, I still believe when we see Khamzat in the octagon, he's coming. And he's unstoppable, as far as I'm concerned. And then Robert Whittaker believes that with a win that he's the best middleweight in the world, and I don't disagree with that. Because I think even if Khamzat were to go down, I would have to say, hey, listen, Robert Whittaker's for real, and they're going to have to get this guy a title shot. That's just what it is. But make no mistake, all the trash I talk, right, about Khamzat, when that fight comes on, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, because I'm like, hey, if Khamzat goes down, everybody's coming for me in the comment section. I mean, it'll probably be the record for comments in a single day. Because we've been talking about Khamzat, so I'm highly nervous. And that's why when he wins, I go crazy. It's like it's a relief when it finally happens. But Khamzat to the moon. Khamzat's getting the win. He's going to keep on winning, and he's beating everyone in front of him. And he's getting the title by the time he's 32, 33. That's what we're hoping. 31 preferably, but 32 or 33, we'll take that as well. And then let's see what can happen for a good 3-year run, because you go from 30, which he is now, to 36, 37 real quick, and then you start to go downhill. So his time is coming, and he's got to make it happen now. That's why I think he's going to win. That's what it is. Belal Muhammad calls for Usman as first title defense. So is this good for... See, that there's another division. I was thinking about this today. I didn't have enough time to process it and dig deep in my mind, but there's another division that's going through this too, and it's like, okay, let's just say you fight Usman and Usman wins. Well, then we already know Leon Edwards can beat Usman. So it's just like a risk to take, like, and I don't know that Usman can't win that fight. I mean, Belal Muhammad's looking like he's on a different level than I personally anticipated in the last fight. But there's nothing wrong with Usman getting a title shot. And a guy like Muhammad wants to beat him just to, you know, push him to the side and not have to, you know, you beat Usman and you're Belal, you don't have to worry about him anymore. I mean, you have to make a major turnaround over the next 3 or 4 fights and beat everybody to get back to Belal. So you beat Usman now, you get rid of him. Okay. Maybe he's slightly going downhill, so you think the time is now. Let's just go ahead and finish it off now and then move on with all these, you know, and really buy some time for before the Shavkat Rakhmonovs and Ian Garys of the world start coming knocking on the door, right? Buy some time. Fight the older generation. Get them out the way. Buy yourself some time to get better. And that's not a bad idea for Belal Muhammad. After dropping John Jones' Go promo, Dana White says he's really excited about AI determining the UFC rankings. And what does this mean? How would AI do this? Okay, it's not going to be reporters or whoever, or who is doing the rankings now? You know, a few people do the rankings, whether it's, I don't know if it's media, reporters, whatever, but the rankings are done, and then now you're going to integrate AI. So someone's going to have to be behind the coding for that. So what's their angle? Is there any future projection involved, or is it just simply what happened in your last fight and recent fights? And John Jones is at the center of all this, right? And I think the problem and the reason why John Jones is not #1 pound for pound right now, although Dana White believes he should be, is because of inactivity. But at the same time, then when he comes to fight, it's like, okay, he was a light heavyweight champ, the heavyweight champ, and the only fight he ever lost was, it shouldn't have been a loss, right? So, I mean, he didn't lose the fight. I mean, he won the fight, but he, you know, whatever, got disqualified. So he's basically undefeated, so I get it. But then, you know, if AI is doing the rankings, how long can you sit there and not fight before you start to go down? So in the coding, there's got to be something in AI with, okay, well, the guy hasn't fought in a 1.5 years or however long, and you start to slide in the rankings because of time as well. So if there's not that factor in there, then John Jones would probably be #1. But if you factor in that there's a lot of inactivity here, then maybe he's not #1. So it's very interesting, and I don't think AI solves anything. I think someone's got to program this stuff to happen, and whoever is inside on the programming is going to determine the future, but you may not always like the programming that you set up. Like in this situation, John Jones is #1. Okay. Well, 5 years down the line, there's going to be some guy that decides not to fight for 3 years, and he's still #1. And then people are it's going to be a problem. So, you know, it will be interesting to see how all that plays out. It just will be, because who knows which way it goes.
He's gon' fight, wait, he's gon' fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator assassin, reckless, no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass